honestly so upset. Living in America is freaking ridiculous right now. There are people choosing whether they want to have Christmas gifts or pay their rent, and that might not be different from any other year. 2 to 3 grand on average. You need to make 2 to 3 times that. $9,000 a month. How many people with regular bachelor degrees are even making that? No one. Not a lot of people. No one wants to live with roommates. That's not the answer. Everybody deserves a safe and clean space. There's no reason why so many people should be roommating, or you can't even buy yourself your own house. It's not, this is horrible.
This tent city isn't in LA or San Francisco, it's not even in Sydney. This is along a 1.5 kilometre stretch of the Brisbane River, and when I went down there this morning, I counted 29 tents in this 1.5 kilometre section. Now, about 5 years ago, I wrote an article titled The CEO Pike Out, which criticised the CEO sleep out. And along this 3.1 kilometre stretch, I found 5 tents with people who I interviewed. Australia, the housing crisis is real, and we need radical action right now.
It is borderline impossible because rent is meant to be 25% of your pay. On Centrelink, it is 75% of your pay.
We've come to a park in the centre of Melbourne where people are gathering to talk about how hard it is to be a renter in this city.
Looked at maybe 30 places over the span of a few weeks and did not get a response from a single real estate agent.
There are people here who are full-time workers and are spending at least half what they earn on their rent.
I think that currently it's 50% of my income, which is not sustainable, and that is why I'm constantly looking for more casual jobs.
I'm working 2.5 jobs just to make it, and a couple of my other friends in the house are always also working multiple jobs.
There's no quick fix, but Tenants Victoria says the government has to intervene to cap rents and increase housing stock as soon as possible.
You know, I have some quality issues with the house, but I'm hesitant to even bring them up because I don't want to be on the bad side of the landlord.
The front door has stopped closing properly. It doesn't lock anymore, so we now have to enter through the back of the house.
It is a landlord's market right now, and governments are caring more about property investors than they are about renters.
Okay. I just want to vent as a social worker about the landlord requirements, specifically for apartments, studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, etc., where they're asking people, actually just studios and 1 bedrooms. I don't understand why you need to have 3 times the rent for a studio or 1 bedroom. Is it just in case of what? I just need to hear it. I know it's probably something logical from the property owning standpoint. I am a property owner. I do understand that. And if I were to leave this home and rent it out, I want people to have an income. You know, when they used to say 2 times the rent, that used to be doable. When I had my first apartment, I moved into my first apartment, they wanted me to have 2 times the rent. Well, 2 times that particular rent was $1,095. And that was a realistic request for my income at that time. Now, fast forward, it's 2023, and I've switched back on my career and have gone back into mental health as a therapist, and working on my hours, almost there. Give me a few months because that test is not easy. So I hear. Anyway, my current income, I don't qualify for some of these 1 bedrooms. I'm barely making it on the, on the requirement. I have it, but my money don't go to rent all month. So why would I need to have 3 times that when, whether I have 3 times this rent or not, if I have 3 times it, okay, you think that means you're going to get paid every month? It doesn't mean that. Hardship happens whether you have 3 times the rent or not. But if you are asking people to pay $1,600 for a studio apartment and you want them to have 3 times that in order to move in, I think that needs to be cut back. I mean, at least go back to 2 times the rent. Make it possible. Make it possible. It is what it is. You can't force parents to keep their young adults in their homes longer. You can't, young people just starting out, even when they're working and trying to go to school, they don't have 3 times the rent because they don't have 3 times the rent time as far as working is concerned. They're trying to go to college. They're trying to go to vocational school. They're trying to work too. They're inexperienced. They don't qualify for jobs that pay you 3 times that rent. something's got to give. And I think that telling landlords that they can't be requiring people to have a monthly income that's 3 times the rent is a start. Do they make enough money to pay you rent? And rent is paid once a month. So do they make enough money to pay you rent at all? And if your issue during COVID was that the rent was so high and people didn't have work and they couldn't pay the rent, and now a lot of people, were bankrupt and have to sell their properties, I can empathize with that as well. Everybody's just trying to live, but if you have to sell your property because people didn't pay you rent, you don't have 3 times the rent either. You don't have 3 times the cost of owning the building you have. If people not paying rent causes you to have to sell your building or do something scandalous, you didn't even have what you was asking your tenants to have.
Hi TikTok. Just haven't checked in for a while. Things are crazy. Trying to find a place by December 1st or November 30th. We have 3 people on disability and dependent. So we have about, the boys get about $1,300 a month, and I get a little more because I have a dependent. So we can each pay about $1,000 a month, and then I can cover the bills. So we go to this one place, a 4-bedroom for $3,000, right? Sounds good. Ladies, sounds nice. We go there. She wants us to pay the water bill. Please do not think that I'm talking about the hydro. I am completely set to pay hydro and Fortis, but the water bill is supposed to be, in my opinion, paid by the owner of the house, and they have been trying to put this onto renters, even though it's, like, if you were a renter, you wouldn't even be able to get that bill in your name, okay? You'd have to, like, get it in the landlord's name or the owner's name, like, that's how not for us it's supposed to be. And then she says that if the appliances break down due to past tenants bagging on her appliances, she wants us to help pay half to replace the appliances. So I'm going to spend 50 to 60% of my income on rent alone. The boys are going to be spending 80% of their money on income alone, plus the water bill and plus the other bills, of course. And now she wants us to help her buy new appliances. Well, telling us, a homeowner telling us that times are tough. Okay? This really gets me, okay? Like, seriously? Seriously? Like, you want me to make my first appliance that I ever get to buy that's over $50 and I'm buying you an appliance. All for the ability to live in your house. It shook all of us. We just are, that someone would want so much from poor people and to try and do this. I really hope that I find a place for us, for the 4 of us. And I really hope that we're not going to be homeless. And I really hope that we find a kind landlord out there somewhere that wants to make money, but also give a shit about the people they're renting to. We're not all dollar signs. We're human beings. It really pisses me off. It grinds my gears. It really, makes me mad. Okay? I mean, we just want to pay rent like everyone. And then you want to tell us when we're allowed to be up. We're not allowed to smoke anywhere on the property. Like, we have to walk down the block to go have a smoke. We're not allowed to have pets. Okay, well, pets pee on carpets. So if you have carpets, fair enough. Okay? But I mean,